Hey, I'm Nick Williams. I'm here with Joey Turner, and we are discussing, what are we discussing, Joey? What if the customer does not buy a Medicare plan? Okay, so you have a lead. By the way, how you doing, Joey?
I'm good, Nick. How you doing?
I am just fine. You have a customer and they don't buy a Medicare plan. That's a Medicare lead. What do you do? Well, of course, you want to transition, right, Joey?
That's right.
And but let me say this. I think the most important point to be made here is that you transition, that you understand that the client is not going to buy before you and not be rejected. Typically, if you're going down the path to sell a Medicare plan, you know if this person's going to buy or not. If the language, and this is over the phone or face to face, you should be able to hear it in their voice. You should be able to tell it if you're face to face in their body language. You should be able to have uncovered the facts. You should be able to determine if you're helping them or not. And there should be some way, Joey, do you agree that you should identify this before you try to close them and you're rejected?
I definitely think so. You should know early on in the conversation.
Yeah, because they're with you.
Right.
And you're getting the right vibe from them, if you will. And the problem is, Joey, if you present and try to close and they reject you, what has that done for the complication factor of now selling another product?
It dampers the whole thing, really. I mean, once you get the first rejection, it's hard to turn that around. Because at that point, they're prepared mentally for you to pack up and leave or, get off the call.
Well, look at it this way. And it's not impossible, okay? But look at it this way. You have failed, Joey, and you failed in their eyes. And that's the way I see it. You have, in fact, failed in their eyes. You have, and now you're going to say, well, what about your final expense? Not that that's the transition you would use, but now since you were set, what's happening is, well, I couldn't sell you that. So how about if I sell you final expense? No, that's not the way you do it. You look and you determine, like, for example, if it's somebody's brother-in-law or they have an agent, I won't use the brother-in-law and sold them the plan. I'll say they have an agent. That agent also is their mother's agent. That agent is also their brother's agent. And that agent calls them every single year and is at their house every single year. You should kind of sort of know, unless there was a mistake made, something that is a mistake. Typically, I'm typically not going to try to replace that agent. Typically, again, unless a mistake was made. And then I'm going to say, look, I understand that this is your brother's agent, it's your mother's agent, but they've made a mistake. If that mistake wasn't made, then what's going to happen is, and I just replace the plan, because maybe this plan might be a little bit better or it's a couple dollars less, that other agent is going to come back kicking and screaming. And you can bet when mama and the brother and the agent all team up on your client, you probably are going to lose that deal. And you may have a allegation against you if you sold them a Medicare Advantage. Do you follow me, Joey?
I do. I agree.
Yeah. Nothing is worse than a scorned agent. So you identify that you had a problem up front, and then you identify that you are not closing up front, and you tell the agent, Joey, this is what I suggest. You compliment the agent that they've made a good, not the agent, you compliment the client that they've made a good decision. If they have an agent and you're not going to touch the business, you say your agent did a good job for you. So again, you give them positive affirmation. And so they're like, oh, good. This person isn't trying to just, rip a plan out of my hands and replace it just for the sake of, because they got me, they're in front of me and they want to hustle me, and they have that inkling, that suspicion in the back of their mind. No, this person's different. They're telling me that agent did a good job. That's not always the norm. So instead, I want to say that agent has done a good job for you, or you've made a good decision. I congratulate you on making a good decision. Don't let anybody tell you any different. What I'm going to do is I'm going to help you with any insurances you have. And I often find that people make mistakes when they buy insurances, whether it's life insurance, the accident policies. A lot of times it's old policies that just aren't what the insured thought it is. But having said that, what other insurance companies are taking money out of your checking account each month? And then I just wait. And I just wait at that point. And if they say nothing, I'll look at them after a while and I say, well, surely you have life insurance, right? Well, yeah, I have that. Well, who's that paid to? And then, well, how much do you pay them? How much death benefit is that? So, but normally what will happen at that point, Joey, is they'll say, again, when I say what other insurance companies are taking money out of your checking account each month, they will typically tell me, well, again, after some silence. So, and what I'll do is I'll take my pen, I'll put it to the paper, and I'll wait. If I'm face to face, I'll have that I'll give them the silent treatment if I'm over the phone. And they'll say, just my life insurance. Well, who's that with? How much death benefit do you have with them? How much does that cost you each month? Why'd you buy that plan? Who's your agent? Why did the agent sell you that plan? When's the last time you saw that agent? And now I'm in the game for the final expense. But Joey, I could do the same thing for any other plan as well. But let me get your thoughts on this, Joey.
No, I agree, Nick. I agree. Anytime you're in an appointment, you have the potential to make some kind of sale, some kind of transaction. You can gain that client one way or another. And if it's not through Medicare, then what else is it going to be through? You need to have your options, because this is a way that you can significantly improve your income. You can pick up a customer base. And who's to say that person doesn't come back to you the next year? Then they bought your life insurance. Now here we are a year later and they go, you know what? I really do want to do Medicare with you. Let's look at that again.
And even if you can just grab that hospital indemnity plan.
Yep. Same thing.
That's a couple $100 in commission.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's several $100s in commissions easily. And,
absolutely.
With renewals, right?
Right.
But Joey, I would contend that the objective is to not shoot all your bullets and then try to backtrack and then try to come at them from another direction. You should be able to identify the trajectory of this presentation, whether it's going towards the bullseye or not, before you pull the trigger. So you might want to do some trial closes or some tie downs or something like that and see if they're following along. But if they're not following along, you do not want to try to close them. Again, you want to use some type of transition to move. And again, Joey, I like to use that positive affirmation that you've done a good job with your Medicare. You stay right where you are. And
exactly.
That's a good way to do it. So that way, it's like, you're a professional. You're not somebody who's just in there hustling them for a sale. But so Joey, what other products are you going to go? What other direction are you going to go at that point with your presentation?
Hospital indemnity is always on the table. Hospital indemnity is an easy sale. It's good revenue. We talked about it in our last training video. And if you're not asking for it, it's crazy because most people will buy one.
Yes.
But you can also identify, if they have problems with prescription drugs, you can start asking the list questions, the extra help questions. And then you might find yourself in an annuity situation. So that's another possibility.
Yes. And especially on the face-to-face, if you can just build that rapport. Now, phone you can as well, but face it, it's easier face-to-face to build the rapport. That is changing. It will always be easier because there's there's the actual physical handshake if you want to do that nowadays. But there's always that. It's always a more personal touch or relationship that develops out of the gate because again, you're face to face. And But over the phone, you can do this as well. And yes, you want to build that relationship and you can get that annuity sale. You know, I've always said that the annuity comes after you've sold another product. But in this day and age, that annuity sale's on the table unless you have looked like the salesman, the failed salesman, should I say. And then you don't have a chance. But I was going to say, what about the dental vision hearing? But why don't we save that for another training and leave it there for this short training, Joey? So again, my key points are that you develop a good rapport and a good relationship, and don't try to close what probably isn't going to close. Instead, transition to something that will close. So what, you got any final words on that one, Joey?
Just, when you're out there and you're dealing with clients, make sure that you take full advantage of each situation. Make sure you ask the right questions, and ultimately it will improve your income. It will improve your persistency, and your clients will be happier too. And if you don't get it, somebody else will.
Okay. Hey, Joey, we're going to wrap it up. We do the Q&As in our Facebook group, Medicare Millionaires, and we invite you to join Medicare Millionaires and, join us. And that's a good source for information for selling Medicare to become the best salesperson that you can be. So with that said, we're going to sign off for this training.